There's a reason why I'm starting off like this. I've been walking mindless, or mindfulness, I mean. Not mindless, because it's not like my mind has just been only wandering. I've allowed my mind to wander for a while. But then I ultimately had to reflect something. Ambulance sound, be careful with the headphones. Ambulance noise aside, and the train, and maybe some car honking. I ultimately questioned myself about what the point of life is. And the point of life is that there is no point of life. Oh, happiness? Happiness is not a destination. It's not something that you should be going through the destiny of. Happiness is just a part of the process. Happiness is just a part of the experience. You know how I talk about, oh, life is just all about experience. It is. And that's why happiness should not be like your main priority. Because the more you prioritize happiness, the more disappointed you will get out of life. Because then you're going to be looking forward to what the point of life is. And there is no point of life. You're just living. You're experiencing life for what it is. You are not supposed to be putting in the forefront happiness. You want to know how some people are like, oh, I'm cool and fine with my life right now, but I don't feel fully happy and content with it. Well, it's not just about, oh, you should be happy, or you shouldn't be sad, or you should be sad. The whole point is you're supposed to be experiencing a little bit of everything. If you're not happy with how your life is going, it happens sometimes. If you're happy with how your life is going, that's how it be sometimes. Great. You just don't want to expect it every step of the way for it to accumulate like that. So there is no point of life once again. That's today's agenda. I've been walking for the past 2 hours. Walking back and forth, by the way. Walking back from where I am to 50th Street. And right now I'm on 69th. Well, I'm on a crossing. I'm gonna be on like 71st or 72nd or something. But why is this today's agenda? Well, you see, how do we reminisce about the past now? We reminisce it like it's like the greatest thing ever. And the problem with that is, or the worst thing ever. But the problem with that is, you guys don't really cherish or embrace the entire notion of that experience because you have such a black and white perspective on your childhood. It's either it was the best thing in the world or the worst thing. And I do not blame you for that. I don't blame you entirely for that. Some people went through an excruciatingly awful period in childhood. Some people went through so much trauma. Some people had to grow up so fast. Some people lost their parents along the way. Some of their parents might not even be present in their life. Not even active. And then some people had a good childhood. Some people were able to grow up with technology not being the pinpoint focal essence and the whole system. And they were able to watch TV. They were able to go outside, watch cartoons. They were able to go outside and play. They were able to play with toys. They were able to go to Blockbuster and grab and rent some movies out and have a movie night with friends. Things were a lot cheaper and they weren't overly unnecessarily expensive. I don't blame you for reminiscing the past. However, every generation does that though. And that's my issue. You guys aren't satisfied with anything until it's gone. And you guys aren't fully capable of cherishing these moments. And I don't blame you. we have been hardwired and taught to never be satisfied with anything. We were taught and indoctrinated from school to always chase for something more and more and more. One is never enough. Like getting paid, let's say 20 an hour is never enough. And even in this economy, it's definitely not enough, especially if you live with another person. However, I'm talking in a general sense. This is a hypothetical sense. This isn't something that I'm applying to real life, and this is exactly how everything is for other people. No, this is just an example. You can make $20 an hour at your job, your local job, whatever job you work. You still want to be satisfied. You're always looking for more because, of course, you're being asked to elevate because the prices are getting higher in everything. So I don't blame you people for missing the past, missing your old version of yourself. But that old version of yourself was very unaware. Your old self was young, immature, and irresponsible. You had no sense of responsibilities. And maybe that's what you miss. You miss not having responsibilities. I don't blame you. Again though, how would you be able to cherish the freedom of becoming not only an adult, but cherish the freedom that you have to create this life for yourself and be able to do anything you could possibly do with your mind, your soul, and your spirit? But you don't have the self-awareness, you don't have the lessons, you don't have the pain. You see, you guys have a warped, weird conceptual idea of love, weird conceptual idea of success, failure. You think failure is somehow the most realist thing ever. I'm pretty impressed that you guys are still thinking that failure is like the worst thing ever. Because school taught you that if you fail this test, then you just fail school and you probably get held back. That's why you fear failure. Because the way also certain systems were raised, whether it's in your household, whether it's a societal system or the school system, you have been taught each and every step of the way to fear the unknown, fear taking risk, fear becoming better, fear even your own success. You were taught and taught to fear being at your best. They don't want you at your best. They want you to be compliant and obedient enough. They want you to be smart enough for you to know what to do, but not smart enough to be aware of how you're even being implemented within the system that they want you to just continue to unravel. They want you to keep the cycle running, and they want to make you less valuable. They want to make you an asset. You're an asset to these people. You are not somebody they want to keep around for a good portion of time. Or if they do, the only reason is because you were a compliant, obedient corporate worker. It's just how it goes. The way we have to break this down too, within the spectrum of, so what is life supposed to be about then? Experience, bro. It's simple as that. But how do you even get to this point? Well, consistency within self-reflection, and the consistency doesn't have to be every single day, by the way. Sometimes the consistency is every few days, every other day, once a while. I mean, consistency, it doesn't have such a strict restricting bar to where, oh, you're supposed to consistently do it once every few hours or every day. It's general. Consistency just means you're able to follow through with it whether it's every single day or every other day, or if you go through a slump and you still are up in ante, you're passionate, and you're still able to be consistent somewhat, then that's dedication. I would respect that. I would. So now we just have to configure and continue to unlearn, relearn, deprogram from some of the things that we were taught, some of the lies, some of the whitewashing, some of the nonsensical information. Be open to learn, be willing to learn. The problem with being willing to learn, especially in this life, is we were taught to hate learning. We were taught to hate reading over time. So people are complaining about, that the literacy rates are going down and stuff. Within the combination of social media and within the combination of the school system and the combination of the fact that the more you go to school, the more you continue to experience school, is the more work you have, the more memorization, the more memory you have to continue to ingrain and continue to clutter, the less room you have to be able to analyze and think and observe. It's like you're optimizing yourself to not actually have open floor. Everything is cluttered. You're so also always be distracted and cluttered with so many things going on. You see why sometimes people being busy is not actually about being busy. It's about how many things they have on their mind right now, but they aren't able to start somewhere. Or their productivity isn't actually about how many things you need to do. And it's about how much you're able to apply yourself to do certain things and get certain priorities straight. Certain priorities that you need to get in check before others, and what's the most important. And the issue with that is that there's too many things to do within adult responsibilities. But then, once you get certain things out the way, or you leave certain things out the equation, then there's too little things to do. It's very chaotic. It's a very complex system, and of course we didn't ask for this. But even through the spiritual essence of life, it's not necessarily just about we didn't ask for this, we didn't ask to be here, we didn't ask for all this to fall down when we become adults. You see, the problem with this statement of Gen Z had to experience the worst adulthood but the best childhood is type. What's the right word? It's rooted in psychosis. And it's not because we're all going crazy. It's not just because of that, or we're just hallucinating. It's also because in retrospect, your childhood was the best because you didn't have much responsibility and you experienced the last timelines of when things were actually stable, quote unquote. But you guys were young. You guys think these things were stable because you expect it. You expect your parents to be compassionate, doing their duty, adults to be cordial. But you grow up and you experience the opposite, and you don't experience more adults being smarter than you would anticipate. You got it all mixed up. You only got a boxed version, an isolated version of what you think certain concepts are in reality, in actuality. You didn't get the whole picture because you didn't experience enough of the world. You only experienced integral parts of it. You didn't experience everything, and that's okay. You're not going to be able to experience everything anyways. It's more of a, you haven't traveled enough to certain areas, and of course that's not me blaming you. That's just the general consensus. If you are a normal, regular person, quote unquote, the normal, regular person would just stay in their hometown most of their life and barely have any experience in moving. Or if you are somebody that experienced a lot of moving, then you would at least have a sense of awareness of how people are. So in hindsight, life is pointless, and it's supposed to be pointless, right? There is no point to unravel, there's no point to go after. You just have yourself and your ideas, or you have your dreams and aspirations. There is no point. We're not rooting or going for the same thing, we're going for something different. Some people are gifted in instruments, some people are gifted in communication, some people are gifted in being leaders of a church choir. Some people are rooted in just working at the grocery store, just working as a cashier, somebody cooking at a restaurant. We have different aspirations, and we need to fill in these roles as society members to at least do our best to fill in these roles. And I'm not just talking about the word corporation, even if we have to work just to get by. In a general sense, everybody has something to look forward to, and everybody has their ideas and aspirations. It's more fun that we allow ourselves to have this experience, because the older we got, we see the pain a little, we see the distraught, we saw the disaster classes and certain things. We saw that certain politicians genuinely never cared about us, and we see most politicians as well not having any type of morals, non-existent morals. And you think that these adults would have any type of awareness with that. However, this is exactly why the older you get, you don't trust. We don't put your entire egg basket into these people and trusting that they have any type of moral ground, or trusting that they have everything that you could ever ask for. That's why we adventure and explore, right? That's why we have our own lives to live. We don't know anything. We don't know everything. We're not supposed to. So in retrospect, life is supposed to be pointless. There should be no point for you to go after. No destination you should be going after or chasing within feeling, within certain careers. I mean, with careers it's a little bit different. However, what if you could do a little bit more than what you're going after within career? That's unpredictable in that regard. For a closing window or sentence, don't chase for happiness. You were never supposed to chase for happiness. You're not supposed to root your happiness into something extravagant. You're supposed to be happy simply because, for a fleeting moment or fleeting moments. That's not a destination. That's not a journey that you should be applying to just about anything. You're supposed to allow your emotions to be utilized as tools and not something that you get over-consumed by. So yeah, we got a lot more learning to do. We got a lot more life to live. It is a great day outside. And if it's a great day outside in your area or in your place, touch grass. have a little bit more fun today than you did yesterday. Even if it means to bed rot, or even if it means to watch a movie. Reset, reflect, and understand why you're going through these things. Why you are still here. So, cheers, y'all. Hey, cheers, dog.